I'm giving you $15,000. Like, I'm not even kidding. This is not a gimmick. My brother did it. I was waiting. We thought the economy was way too good right now for this opportunity to ever to happen.
Changed their lives.
Dude, you did. You completely changed mine.
What's going on, guys? Blake Albertson here with B&B Lawn Care. Now today, I got a little story, a little comparison, renting versus buying. Now, some of you guys are younger guys, some of you guys are older guys that probably have had a lot more experience in this with me. Some of you guys aren't even thinking about this yet, but it's something to think about. So let me run you through a couple theories here. So, let's say you're 16 or younger. You're looking forward to driving, okay? When you're 16, 17, once you've already drove, you're looking forward to being 18, being an adult. Once you turn 18 and 19, you're looking forward to drinking at 21. It's a never-ending thing. So let's skip all of that if you're younger than 16, no matter what age you are. And let's go right to the end result. You'll end up wanting to buy a house. That's like, starting a family, buying a house, and all that stuff. That's like at the top. That's past driving and being in legal drinking age and buying lottery tickets and stuff. That's the end thing, is like buying a house. At least it was for me, and it is for probably 95% of people. Okay, so start with your end goal and work backwards, okay? And that probably needs to be a second part. This is gonna be a long video because I want to talk about renting versus buying, my thoughts upon it. But basically, start with the end goal, where you want to be, and divide that by how many years away you want it to be, and start saving up that money, because it's a very expensive process. It's very expensive, more expensive than I ever even predicted, and I predicted it very well. I've been working hard towards this for a very, very long time. Even though I'm only 22, and I know some of the older guys are gonna be like, well, I was just out smoking weed when I was 22 and all that stuff. Well, that was you. That's the difference. That was your life. This is my life. So I've been working at it for a very long time, and made it happen. So renting versus buying, and listen, I looked at everything. I looked hard, like literally looking for, like, I would purchase a house for a year, probably over a year, and so I got some pretty good exposure on the whole process. And I mean, I looked at everything from rent. I got so frustrated, and then Natalie and I got so frustrated that we were gonna rent because we couldn't find a house that we liked and things like that. It's a hard market. Everything's selling like so fast. But I'll walk you around our house too, just because the things I'm gonna talk about will be on the other side and things like that. So renting, listen, I grew up in a family that despises of renting. And listen, of course I have that thought too, that it's throwing money away. And I listen to people like Dave Ramsey and things like that, and try to get their knowledge on it as well. And he says it, and this is so true, that renting for a short period of time is always cheaper than buying a house or paying a mortgage per se. And buying a house is always cheaper in the long run. So I'm probably paying the same per month here to have a house, a pretty decent sized house with a 3-car garage and all this stuff, and a a yard and a place to call mine while I'm paying it off. So that's the part that's hard to get my head around. So let's take a $1,500 mortgage and a $1,500 apartment. You're probably getting like a 2-room with like a living room and a little kitchen. And a house, the only reason it's the same is because you have to put a down payment on a house. So it can be, I think nowadays they have programs that it can be less than 20%, I don't know, but you can put down anything over 20%, because if you put less than 20%, you have to pay an insurance, mortgage protection insurance every month, and that kind of sucks. So definitely don't want to do that. And listen, I saved up like a lot of money over the past few years. Like I worked my butt off to save a lot of money, and I had a pretty stash, man. I had a pretty stash, and it went into this house as a down payment, a very aggressive down payment. And that's one of the reasons we got this house, is because I had saved up so much cash to put as a down payment. But why isn't my lighting good? Okay, so that's the reason. So let's say you're paying $1,500 at a house and $1,500 at an apartment. You're getting a lot smaller at an apartment than you are a whole house. And also that $1,500. So let's say you're gonna be there 1 year. Let's talk about a 1-year plan, okay? Do the math. I don't even know what that is. That'd be 18,000 bucks or something a year. Okay. So you're putting $18,000 and giving it to some rich company or landlord at a big apartment complex, dude. That is a freaking, oh my god, that is a killer business. There's so many, because think about it. Think about how spread out houses are, but everybody in that one little building, man, those people are making some money, dude. Anyways, that's besides the point. That's a different video. So you're taking the $18,000, you're giving it to them. If you stop paying after 1 year, they're gonna boot you out and you're back at zero. You have nothing. You have nothing to show for that $18,000 you just spent. Okay, after your down payment, that same year, put $18,000 into the house, and of course, you have, whatever your interest rate is, that coming out, but you're still putting something into your house. Just like I said, I took my down payment from my bank account and put it to a different account. It's just not liquid. It's this house, okay? You just can't touch it. You just can't get money from it, okay? It's just in a different place. That money is still there. With the $18,000, you're still putting it into the house, okay? And eventually, you keep paying that off, and the house becomes all yours. And at the end of 15, 30 years, whatever you do, and versus apartment, you now have this property. You can live in it forever and live not paying for a place to live. You can sell it and use that as the huge chunk of a down payment on a newer house. But in an apartment, at the end of 15 years, you don't have anything. All that money is gone. So let's talk about, now that's the bias Blake side, the V&V bias Blake side, because I am more for owning a house than renting a house. Now listen, I understand. I didn't have kids. I didn't have anything to pay. I lived at my mom and dad's house. Okay, like all you little haters have said for years, why do you still live in your mom and dad's house? It's because I had a master plan while all you guys were typing that in. I had a master plan. This was all planned. This didn't just, I wake up one day and I decided, oh, I'm gonna purchase a house. Let's go purchase a house. It's not that easy. I had this plan when I was, I've had this plan, man, okay? When I was depressed that everybody had left for college and I was still pulling weeds and trimming underneath thorn bushes. This was the plan, dude, to save up a wad of cash and frickin' and follow my dreams. So this is just step one, brother. This is just step one, man. But anyways, Bias Blake side, talking about haters. There you go, man. You always gotta have a master plan. If you're gonna deal with haters and hate and just life in general, you gotta have that plan and work the plan, no matter what anybody says. Okay, let's get away from the Bias Blake side and talk about the advantages of renting. So let's say you just started your business, you have to live somewhere, and you don't have $100,000 to put as a down payment in a house. I understand these are situations. People have hard situations. You might have a kid and you're starting a new business and you lost your job and you don't have a lot of money. You have to rent. You can't just blink up. That has to be, that down payment has to be cash, liquid cash, away from your tax accounts, away from anything in your business. It has to be cash, ready to go, ready to run out the door and you never see it again. Well, it's in your house, but you can't see that cash again. So you have to rent. I'd find the cheapest place to rent. Now, the cool thing about renting, and if you don't have a lot of money yet, when you're just working your business and you're just trying to get your life straight, let's say you find a place for, $800 to $1,000 or whatever. I don't know what the cheapest would be, especially in different areas, I'm sure. But the thing about renting is, like, our hot water heater went out the first month living in this house. I had to get that money. First off, I put so much money into this house, and we've bought new couches and beds, and we've bought a lot of stuff for this house. So, I didn't have a lot of cash, which is another thing. Not having a lot of money and not having a lot of liquid cash is totally different, because my net worth went up when I purchased this house. I didn't lose that cash, that down payment that I put in. My net worth went up by buying this house, but not having a lot of liquid cash. I didn't have a ton of liquid cash. We just bought all this stuff. We just bought couches and running the business and things like that. Hot water heater went out. I had to get that cash to do it. It was like, I don't know, $800 or $1,000 or something. Like right then. This, unfortunately, one day, these air conditioner, it'll go out. And if you're renting, you just call up your landlord and say, hey, there's no air blowing, brother. There's no hot water heater. There's no hot water. What's going on? Come fix it. And somebody will come fix it. That's an advantage of renting, okay? No down payment, and you don't have to pay to fix anything. So, short term, yeah, there's nothing wrong with renting. But I was in a situation that I skipped the wasting money step. I skipped giving it to a rich landlord and keeping it for myself into this property. So, yeah, it's interesting, guys. Do some research. I mean, take time. If you're 18, 19, 20, dude, that's what I should be here for. I should be the person you can look towards and say, he did it, I can do it too. Okay, so don't let anybody, dude. And you know what pissed me off? I almost purchased my first house at 21. I could have write a book on that. But I'm pissed because the guy that was living here, he asked, I forget exactly what happened, but he needed like 2 more weeks. And of course my birthday was in that 2 weeks. So I purchased a house when I was 22 instead of 21. But I use that not as a bragging point. I use that as a motivation point because I know there's your mom and your family and your neighbors and that old man down the street that always tells you what to do in life. And he's not at the point you are wanting to go. So don't listen to them, okay? The age doesn't matter. I should be the one person you can look towards and say, it really doesn't matter, okay? That's the point of these videos, and the point of these videos is to educate you guys because, you know, renting, they make it look awesome. They make it look awesome, dude. Like, these new apartments that are coming in are awesome. Got pools with waterfalls and big gyms with giant TVs and saunas and all sorts of fluffy stuff because they're making a bunch of money. And that's what it is, man. They're making a lot of money. So there's advantages and disadvantages to everything, but I don't want my money going out the door. I want my money to help make more money. That's what it is. And yeah, that's don't throw away your money, man. So do some research, think about it. Remember, it doesn't matter your age. If you've rented your whole life, start finding a way to slowly save up a down payment. Also, here's the gold. If you stayed through the 16 minutes, I'm going to give you gold, and this is real shit. I'm not even lying. There's a program right now, and I'm so mad. I'm so mad. And I cussed right there because I'm giving you $15,000. Like, I'm not even kidding. This is not a gimmick. My brother did it. I was waiting. We thought the economy was way too good right now for this opportunity to ever to happen. But there's a bank, I think it's Wells Fargo or something, but this is the only requirements. There's like a short little test. It's like a 6-hour class, okay? And there was a couple requirements. One of them, so this is in the Kansas City area, this is happening right now. Like, if you go buy your first home, right now you get $15,000. Only a few requirements. Stay in that house for 5 years, living and working in Kansas City, and you fill out the test and like probably a couple other things. But that's not kidding. Like, when I heard that, actually my dad heard that on the radio. He called me and he was frustrated as heck because that's an extra $15,000 that goes towards your down payment. They're trying to, dude, I'm telling you, do research on it. And my brother did it, and I mean, think about that. Adding on $15,000 onto your down payment's amazing. That's $15,000 the equity that just went into your house, like that. So of course that's 2 months after we purchased this house, and we don't get that $15,000. But very frustrating. But unfortunately, you can't go back and do it. But yeah, that's a real thing. So look into those opportunities because that's $15,000. You never have to pay it back. It's ridiculous, dude. I mean, so like my brother has $15,000 of equity that he didn't put in there. It was a program. It was awesome. So first-time homebuyer program. But look around for that stuff. There is little things like that. That's the highest I've ever heard of for just first-time homeowner. That's the only requirement. So anyways, guys, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching and listening. Dude, I know this information will help. If you guys want more videos on it, I'm happy to help. I've done a lot of research. I'm 22, so haters. Anyways, guys, hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.